How's it going, duelists? Welcome back to Draw Phase. I'm your host, Low Tier Hero, and in today's video we're going to be discussing one of the most fascinating revivals in the current metagame, Danger Dark World. We're going to delve into how to counter this deck, discussing new support, key weaknesses, direct counters, and more, so let's go ahead and get started. The recent additions to the Dark World archetype have significantly improved the deck's power level. Notable cards include Grapha, Dark Overlord of Dark World, a fusion monster with an impressive effect, which alters your opponent's monster, normal spells, or trap card effects to cause them to discard instead. This serves to disrupt your opponent while also triggering the effects of their Dark World monsters. Rainbow, Overking of Dark World, boosts consistency by special summoning itself from the graveyard while also retrieving level 5 or higher Dark World monsters from the deck. Dark World Archives gives the deck speed by providing additional draw power whenever a Fiend-type monster is discarded, while Dark World Puppetry manages resources by banishing threats and cycling through their Dark World monsters. These new support cards revitalize the Danger Dark World strategy with a fuller hand thanks to Dark World cards and the Danger archetype's inherent special summoning and draw power. The strategy of discarding for more powerful effects becomes more robust and consistent. That leads us to the next topic here, the elephant in the room, SILLVA getting banned on an emergency Master Duel ban list. However, even with the deck losing SILLVA, Warlord of Dark World, to the ban list due to its special summoning and hand disruption capabilities, that does not mean that the deck is bad or slowed or nerfed whatsoever. The deck remains potent with this new support. Now we're discussing some of the choke points and weaknesses of this deck. Despite its power and consistency, the deck has notable weaknesses. It hinges on discarding Dark World cards and activating their effects. Disrupting these processes forms the key choke points featuring this deck. The moments when a Dark World card is discarded or when they are about to activate their effect in their graveyard can be exploited. This is where well-timed disruption cards like Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring and Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion come into play. So your focus is preventing the discard and also controlling their graveyard. There's a lot of cards available for graveyard control, and I already know what you're thinking about. Let's move on to the top 5 counters. Beyond general disruption, there are specific counters to this deck, and I won't be covering Ash Blossom. I will not be covering Maxi because we already know that those cards are cemented into cards you must have in your deck. And let's not forget of Infinite Impermanence, you must have that card in your deck as well. But I'm talking about 1. DROLL and Lockbird. This card is the biggest Achilles heel to the Danger Dark World archetype. It's going to prevent the player from adding more cards from their deck to their hand during the turn it's discarded. This is going to hinder them to the point of no return that I can almost guarantee that, especially in a single elimination format on Master Duel, you could possibly see a GG right away. At number 2, we've got Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion. This card negates any effects that involve cards in the graveyard, preventing key Dark World effects. So this thing is going to be a key card, but it is a 1-for-1. So it really just depends on your deck strategy and whether it can keep up on a 1-for-1 trade. At number 3, we've got Called by the Grave. This thing is really good. I don't see it enough on Master Duel, and I actually have seen decks that don't even run Called by the Grave. But this card, it banishes a monster from the graveyard and it negates its effects for the turn and the follow-up. This is a key card to disrupt Dark World plays. The next 2 cards on my list are Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos. They're each other's counterparts. Dimensional Fissure banishes any monster that would be sent to the graveyard, preventing their effects from triggering. And Macrocosmos, again, same thing, but instead of monsters, it's going to cover everything from monster, spell, trap to the extra deck. These are the top 5 direct counters for the Dark World Danger strategy that will possibly be seeing a lot of play when it goes into effect on Wednesday, or at least that's the idea. And if not, well, you could always come back into this counter guide and check it out when it does get involved and implemented into the Master Duel game. Now we're going to move on to some 5 niche counters. If you don't want to play the generic counters that are direct counters that we've just discussed, here are some additional cards that you can consider playing. Number 1, we've got Artifact LANCEA. Prevents both players from banishing cards for the rest of the turn. Shared Ride at number 2. Each time your opponent adds a card from their deck or graveyard to their hand, except by drawing them, you immediately draw a card. If you just hate your opponent drawing cards or adding cards or anything at all, Thunder King RAI-OH at number 3. This card is going to prevent your opponent from adding cards to their deck outside of drawing them. This can significantly slow down the deck. At number 4, we've got Imperial Iron Wall. Dark World banishes every single opportunity that they can. So if you can shut down that key element, you're going to shut down the Dark World strategy. At number 5, you've got Debunk. This counter trap card can negate the activation of monsters effect that activate in the hand or graveyard and then gives you the plus of banishing them. And moving on to the Floodgates and the Board Breakers. We're going to jump into the Floodgates first. Cards like Skill Drain can be very effective against this deck, but please keep in mind that some decks that revolve around the Dark World strategy also run Skill Drain because they can set up some very, very big beaters that are very difficult to get over. So play Skill Drain conservatively. And the board breaking cards that I would add, you've got Dark Hole, Raigeki, Dark Ruler No More. This deck strategy, Danger Dark World, doesn't have an out to board breaking cards. Heck, you could even play Torrential Tribute if you'd like, and you can take momentum of the game state and clear out their entire board. You could also consider playing Harpy's Feather Duster because they do run continuous spells. And the last card that I want to add to this list, it's a board breaking card, is Super Polymerization. If you have the opportunity to add up to 2 to 3 fusion generics into your extra deck, you can basically eat up their entire board. In conclusion, while Danger Dark World has received a significant boost with its new support coming soon to Master Duel, it's far from unbeatable. Identifying key weaknesses, timing your plays appropriately, using effective counters, and understanding its strategy will greatly improve your odds of overcoming this deck. Always remember to adapt your strategy based on your own deck, your play style, and your win condition, and the state of the metagame. If you like this video and you like these counter guides, please feel free to interact with the video, like, comment, share, subscribe. It is completely free so that you can help us get onto that YouTube algorithm. As always, you already know we appreciate you more than words can describe. This is Low Tier Hero. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the support. We love you very much. And until next time, my friends, it's time to duel.